Hey, welcome back. Plant Boss here, coming to you live from McCoards Gardens here in beautiful Provo, Utah, the heart of the Rockies. Today we're going to be discussing a container garden for all seasons. And this is great and perfect for you guys that are urban gardeners. You know, a lot of people have been going back to the cities lately, and that creates a limited space for gardens as well as limited time to actually do the gardening. Today, this one container can be used for all seasons, utilizing an evergreen, in this case a holly, for the winter season, and then other plants can be changed depending on what season you're in. In this case, we're going to be doing a planting for spring. And since we are doing it for spring, I have some beautiful pansies and violas to be our filler plants. Those are the plants between the middle and the edge of the pot, and some really cool needlepoint ivy to flow over the edge of the pot for our spillers. Now, we've got all of that set, but you need to remember one thing. Select your plants based on where the pot is going to be sitting. In other words, if the pot is in shade, you need shade plants. If the pot is in full sun, you're going to need sun plants. Today's planting will be for the sun. Let's go. First step, we're going to select a pot. In this case, I've got a beautiful 18-inch whitewashed bell pot. I really like this kind of a pot because it actually, with this whitewash on it, it looks old and like it came from some ancient Italian villa somewhere. Once you have your pot, we need to remember to get plastics. Some people can use plastic bottles. In this case, I'm using plastic pots that we reuse here and reutilize, or you can use rocks, and you'll want to fill the first 4 to 6 inches of the bottom of the pot with these plastics or rocks. Once you've finished with that, you're going to be adding your soil. Now, make sure that you fill your soil to within an inch of the rim of the pot. The reason why we don't want to fill it all the way to the very edge of the pot is because we want to allow room for water to collect when we are watering. Once we have this soil all in place, we'll be ready to start the fun stuff, planting. Now remember, as this is a pot for all seasons, we want to make sure, as I said in the introduction, that our thriller, or the central point of the planting, is an evergreen of some sort. Now in this case, I used a holly. You'll pull your holly, or whatever evergreen you've selected, out of the pot, make a hole in the center of the pot because this is going to be a centered planting. Break the root ball up, get them out of their growth pattern so they'll reroot into this nice fresh soil, and plant your shrub or your other evergreen right dead center of the pot. Next, we're going to use pansies, since this is a spring planting, and violas. And what I usually like to do is I like to arrange them in a color coordinated fashion so that I've got colors popping and also the cooler colors accenting the bright pop of the warm colors. And once we get those all situated, we can begin planting. This will make a beautiful planting. Alrighty, so we've got our color scheme all together. Now we want to take the plants out of the pots, again breaking up the root ball and planting them into the soil in the pot. And this can be done as a family because it's a lot of fun to teach your younger ones how to plant. And if you don't have children, invite your friends over. What a great time you could have. Cooking a little bit of barbecue on the side while planting up your container gardens, especially in the city. Now, Once we have all of our fillers in, it's time to put in our spillers to add the accent to the edge of the pot. In this case, I do have this beautiful needlepoint ivy, and there's two ways that you can do this. You can either do one spiller in the front to have a focus on the front, or two along the edges, or even a tri-planting of 3 different ones in a triangular pattern around the edge of the pot to create the effect you want to. In this case, I've decided to do 2 of these and have them on each side of this planting. Just make the room in there, put them into the hole that you've dug, and put the soil around after you've broken up the root ball. Breaking up the root ball again will allow the plant to root into the new soil and get growing very, very healthily. Once the planting is complete, we want to make sure and clean up our planting area, of course, but also it's time to be sure to water the planting thoroughly to give it a good jump start and avoid shock. It's best to water until you hear the water draining from the bottom of the pot. That way you're sure that you've watered this pot sufficiently in order to avoid any kind of plant shock. Wow, this planting looks amazing and is all ready for spring sun. But remember, you can adjust the violas and the pansies for the summer and then again in the fall. Then you have beautiful glossy green leaves of the holly along with red berries for winter and the holiday season. 2 things to remember. First, watering. Remember, you'll need to water this once or twice a week, but that will need to be adjusted based on temperature and season. Second, you need to remember to fertilize at least once a week, and I recommend using Fertilome's Blooming and Rooting. It's very, very easy to use. The middle number is phosphates. That middle number needs to be very high because we have blooming flowers, and phosphates tells the plant to send out more flowers. Well, it's been great being with you today. I really appreciate your time. Remember, this is McCoards. I'm the plant boss coming to you live from Provo, Utah in the heart of the Rockies. Remember, subscribe to us below and also comment and let us know what you would like to see in future videos. Peace, love, and plant and lift someone through gardening.